Welcome to Cosmic Diaries. This is Priya Kali, your astrologer, and we're looking at the week today of August 12th to August 18th. And we're building up to a profound full moon on the 19th of August. So I'll touch on that a little bit as well in this forecast. But this is a big week, guys. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. And before I begin, given that this is such a big week, I am having a Mercury retrograde discount offer on consultations. So if you want a personal insight into your chart and to look at what the astrology holds for you and what's going on in your life, do email me for a reading and I would love to work with you. You don't want to miss out on these opportunities because life is really shifting now. So I'm going to dive into the week day by day, but on the whole, this is a pivotal week. It's bringing us to a major fork in the road in our life's journey. I've also recorded a forecast with an overview of August covering the full moon energy and all these aspects in greater detail. So you might want to listen to that as well at youtube.com/Cosmic Diaries. But as the week progresses now, the energy is building, leading to a breakthrough full moon in Aquarius, marking a significant milestone and turning point for our relationships, financial matters, for us personally as well as collectively, individually as well as collectively. We're in the process of restructuring our lives and reshaping our lives so it aligns with who we are within and the true self within. So above all this week, self-awareness is called for and greater confidence and faith in ourselves and in the universe that whatever challenge we do face right now, it's a challenge that we can rise to, and to recognize that none of us are alone. We're all one, and we're realizing now how connected we are with our greater network and the world around us, and how interdependent we are. So the more authentically we can show up, we can set in motion a chain of events that truly shifts the trajectory of our lives towards a place that we can truly feel happy about and feel more comfortable in. So with that, I'm just going to dive into the week. On the 12th of August, as I record this, it's the 11th of August, Sunday, but on the 12th of August, the moon will continue through Scorpio. The moon is currently in Scorpio and reaches the first quarter phase at 11:19 a.m. as it squares the sun. This means we're halfway between the Leo new moon cycle, which began on this 4th of August, and the Aquarius full moon, which takes place on the 19th of August, along with a host of other aspects. And then finally, the Jupiter-Saturn square, which is the first of two squares in Gemini and Pisces, and then we have another two coming up next year. So the next stage of progress in this process that we're moving through right now, or rather the next turning point in this process, will come on the 24th of December. So pay attention to what's happening now, because this is a longer unfolding process, and it requires patience, and it requires us to have faith and to trust the journey. So this halfway point, first quarter phase of the moon, with the moon in Scorpio, there's a need to let go of control, to let go of attachments, to let go of attachments to outcomes specifically. With the sun in Leo, this is very creative energy, and at best, we're reaching a turning point where we're reclaiming our power in situations in our life to be more authentic and to also be sovereign. This will require us to drop the mask and to let go of power struggles. And again, let go of trying to control how things play out, but to show up authentically and then surrender to life as it unfolds, in faith that what's unfolding is for you, not happening to you. So the energy on, the moon in Scorpio, sun in Leo, this is passionate, sexual, creative. It's really a chance for us to step into our power and to acknowledge our desires and to be honest with ourselves about our desires and to drop that mask and then to reach for what we desire without trying to control situations outside of us or trying to even control our own desires or how we feel. So this is definitely a chance to, check in with yourself and look at where you need to make adjustments within yourself so you can show up more authentically in your life. It would also help to look back at what was unfolding around the 8th and 9th of February, because we had an Aquarius new moon on the 9th of February, and that was the beginning of a larger 6 month cycle which culminates on the 19th of August. So the seeds we were planting way back in February are now coming to light and starting to blossom and bloom, and we can expect there to be major revelations as the full moon aligns. So looking back to what was unfolding in February will give us a clue into, what some of the storylines and some of the situations that we're dealing with at the moment. And accordingly, we can make adjustments now at this quarter moon phase, given everything we've learned over the past 6 months as we move to this full moon. On the 13th of August, just after midnight, the moon will oppose Uranus and then will trine Neptune at 5:01 a.m. early morning in New York. Pay attention to your dreams, your intuition, and the insights that are coming through as you're waking up, if you're here on the East Coast, or then depending on where you are. Then the moon enters Sagittarius at 6:01 in the morning here in New York and will immediately sextile Pluto and then square Mercury later in the day. So once the moon enters Sagittarius in the morning on the 13th, 6 o'clock, the mood shifts and we're feeling hopefully more optimistic. On the other hand, if you're upset about something or worried about something, because Mercury is still retrograde, Venus is in Virgo, and we're moving to these alignments at the full moon at the end of the week where everyone's feeling really heightened and on edge, and at best we're feeling optimistic and about the future, but at worst, if something is bothering you, try to avoid blowing things up out of proportion right now, because it would be easy to do that with the moon in Sagittarius. And also Mars is now approaching a conjunction to Jupiter just after midnight on the 14th. So all through the 13th, this energy is building. We're being driven by very strong, passionate desires right now, and we face huge choices that will be life defining. That's why it's important now that we're practicing absolute self-awareness. So we're not biting off more than we can chew. There's a need for temperance, for wisdom, self-awareness. Try to stay focused on the big picture. Then you can make wise choices that guide you forward. There are huge opportunities arising now that could really change the trajectory of our life. With the sun in Leo, there's that need for courage and vulnerability and confidence and even creativity. So whatever's unfolding on the 13th and 14th, move slowly. Move with self-awareness. Trust that if something is right for you, you're not going to lose it. Aligned in intention, thought, word, deed, action, then we can work towards manifesting a dream. Also, the ruler of Gemini, Mercury, is currently retrograde in Virgo. So we're also seeing the deeper layers of a situation. We're reaching profound insights and perhaps learning information that we had previously missed, that now suddenly brings greater clarity and illuminates the complexities of a situation. However this is playing out for you, this could play out in infinite ways, and we are dealing with complex situations, so it's important that we're not looking at things in black and white, but walking that middle path and moving beyond the illusion of separation and duality. Then we're likely to see that we have more choices than we think, and we're not as trapped as we think, because at the moment, the way the aspects are moving, it feels like, we're in a tight squeeze and everybody's going through this. So all my clients, myself, everyone I know is going through this. We're all moving through this astrology, and it's like polishing diamonds. What's glass is going to shatter and crack. What's real and a diamond is going to shine. So have faith in yourself. Jupiter is the planet of faith. Have faith in yourself above all, and have faith in the universe, that again, the universe is working for you. It's a matter of now you being true to yourself and daring to be true to yourself and showing up authentically and taking that leap of faith, which feels like a huge leap of faith, towards something your heart has long desired, and reaching for your most optimistic vision with the awareness of the time it will take to manifest something. Then trust you will be guided and will gravitate towards the people, learn the information you need, make the connections you need, and draw in the support you need so you can keep making those informed decisions. Consider this the first step in a larger process that's unfolding in your life, allowing you to live a life that truly reflects your inner truth. Because also on the 14th of August, Mercury re-enters Leo after these aspects at 8:15 p.m. here in New York. Now that Mercury is back in Leo from Virgo, the quality of communication is shifting again. The energy is more dramatic and there's a need for courage to speak up for what we want, but also to make sure that we're not staying stuck in our ego and we're dropping the ego and we're dropping the mask so we can communicate and listen from the heart, because Leo rules the heart. There's also a need for seeking creative solutions, loving solutions, for being compassionate towards yourself as well as others. It's a time for introspection and being really honest with ourselves about what we want and who we are today. So expect truths coming to light, illuminating your mind, hopefully showing you another side to a story, and a chance to rewrite a story as you begin to see it in a new light. Then on the 15th of August, the moon continues to move through Sagittarius and will trine the sun just after midnight on the 15th here in New York, and square Neptune in the afternoon at 12:50 p.m. and then immediately trine Mercury after that. And then the moon will go void until 1:51 p.m. So as the moon trines Mercury and goes void, again there's that sense of illumination, information coming in, us understanding something on a deeper level, understanding ourselves on a deeper level, the bigger picture on a deeper level, as well as seeing new ways forward where previously we couldn't. The moon enters Capricorn at 1:51 p.m. on the 15th, and now this means business because we're getting closer to the full moon and the energy is building. Emotions are growing stronger. With the moon in a Capricorn, there's a need for maturity. Also, Capricorn is a very goal-oriented sign, so the 15th and the 16th and 17th until evening. As the moon moves through Capricorn, it's a good time to realign with your goals, get down to business. So the next couple of days can be really productive. That said, adding to this intensity, Mars squares Saturn just after midnight on the 16th at 1:29 a.m. And this is another, Saturn being the ruler of the moon in Capricorn, this is another significant turning point. It may feel like we're wrestling something really difficult. There's a need for inner strength, to find your inner resilience, and to get aligned with yourself and your goals. Then trust you can rise to a challenge and find the strength that you need to meet whatever's in front of you right now. Mars and Saturn are the two malefics in the zodiac, in astrology, which means that they tend to teach us life's tougher lessons. And if there is a sense now that you're faced with an obstacle or some sort of boundary or limitation, trust that there is a way around this. Let go of arguing for your own limitations. Be creative, look for solutions, and you will find them, and you can turn this corner. We are coming to some gnarly astrology here, but stay with it, and we're going to come out of this on the other side stronger. What doesn't kill us makes us stronger. So I'm not saying this is going to kill us. If anything, we are being strengthened by it. But there is that need for humility and being willing to learn. And then after the aspect on the 16th, the moon trines Venus and then will sextile Saturn later in the day. So the moon-Venus trine is at 3:09 p.m. and moon sextile to Saturn is 8:49 p.m. So with the moon making easy aspects to both Venus and Saturn after this Mars-Saturn square, echoes what I'm saying here, which is after we turn that corner, there is a sense of feeling even perhaps rewarded or glad that we went through some sort of struggle, because ultimately the rewards speak for themselves. So relationships are deepening, financial matters are at a turning point and deepening, and things are coming to a head, but at least there is forward momentum now, and we are certainly moving ahead. And hopefully we're also learning just how much potential there is here for us to really shape our lives with awareness into something that really brings us a sense of fulfillment and deep pleasure even. And there's certainly deep healing on offer. So there is a sense that relationships and financial matters are stabilizing now, slowly but surely. And something might feel like a difficult choice, but really there is no wrong choice. This is about us giving ourselves permission to live the life that we truly desire and we truly want, and then believing in ourselves enough to be able to step up to that, or rather step into that role. As long as we're taking steps in the right direction, then we will see that progress. It's just a matter of progress rather than seeking perfection at this time. The moon enters Aquarius at 5:54 p.m. on the 17th of August, and then it will conjunct Pluto immediately after that at 6:14 p.m. Once the moon enters Aquarius, now we're heading to the full moon in Aquarius on the 19th. The energy is rising, emotions are rising. The moon represents our needs, all our needs, and our emotions primarily. With the moon in Aquarius, Aquarius is a fixed air sign. This is the sign that speaks of the collective as well as the individual. It's a very revolutionary sign. It's ruled by Saturn traditionally, and Uranus is the modern ruler of Aquarius. Think of air, fixed air. It's all around us, but we can't really grasp it. Still, we need it to breathe, and it's just ever present. Similarly, with the moon in Aquarius right now, there's a need for a detachment and for just being present, not disconnected, just detached, because the sun right now is in Leo. Leo is a sign that speaks of the self, while Aquarius speaks of the collective. And so now we're in the process of balancing ourselves with the needs of others in our life. Pay attention to where you have Aquarius in your chart, because this area of your life is being highlighted, and certainly where you have Leo in your chart, because the sun and moon are highlighting this polarity. And what's needed of us is to find a balance between the two. There are a host of other aspects taking place at the time of the full moon, which I'll get into in a minute. But as this moon enters Aquarius now and moves through Aquarius on the 17th, 18th, 19th, there are important revelations coming through. We're reaching major breakthroughs, major milestones. There's an illumination that's happening, at best liberating us from something that we felt stuck in, or with something where we felt like we've been coming up against a wall. But this all begins with us reclaiming our power in situations and letting go of our attachments to outcomes and focusing on being true to ourselves. And the more we can show up authentically in the world, then we'll find that the people who truly see and appreciate you for who you are will still be there, even if you drop the mask. So there's a need to let go of validation from others for our existence. This is that process of freeing yourself to be yourself. So remain detached. Whatever's unfolding right now, remain detached and move slowly. Because on the 18th of August, Mercury squares Uranus early in the morning, and then the sun will meet Mercury at 9:57 a.m. and then the moon trines Jupiter. So there are huge revelations coming through. We're reaching a breakthrough in communication. There are important truths that are being crystallized and being illuminated, revealing a truth to you about yourself, about your heart, what you truly want, and what you're truly capable of. A Sun-Mercury Cazimi will often come with an audience, with a VIP, or at least one important conversation that's revealing and illuminating, bringing to light the narrative of this Mercury retrograde for you. With the conjunction in Leo, above all, it's time to get really honest with yourself and then dare to be vulnerable and have the courage to communicate open-heartedly. Of course, pay attention to the insights that are coming through and really listen to your heart, because it holds the answers to something that we've been trying to wrap our heads around. And this Mercury Sun conjunction is, Mercury square Uranus, Sun will square Uranus at the time of the full moon. So Uranus is in a T-square with this lunation. This really is a mental breakthrough, freeing us to really make choices in alignment with what our heart truly wants. There's no time to play games at this point. Life is getting real. So unless we show up and own up to our own desires, whether or not we choose to act on them is a different issue. Until we at least acknowledge what we want, the universe has no way of bringing it to us. So dare to acknowledge your desires, the ones you rarely dare acknowledge to yourself, but acknowledge them at least. Then it'll be easier to communicate with others in your life and share what you're truly feeling without expecting or needing any kind of validation from someone else. So this is a great day for open heart and conversations. And if you have important meetings or you're renegotiating an important arrangement, just go in with an open mind and look for solutions, seek creative solutions, seek loving solutions, and you can find them. Compassion would be a good practice to have at this time as well, for yourself and for others, because everyone's feeling tense and stretched and at their limit, and the stakes are high. So, this is a collective turning point as well as a very personal turning point, and we're just hopefully realizing how integral a part of our community and our greater network we are. And what happens in the future really depends on the choices we're making right now. So, dare to be true to yourself above all. And the good news is, with the moon trine Jupiter after this Sun Mercury conjunction, there really is this sense of liberation and expansion that we're experiencing, and at best, good fortune. And even if something at this point still feels like it's going wrong, quote unquote, I would still advise you to try to take a deep breath before you react or overreact to something. The moon's trine to Jupiter is an easy aspect, which suggests what's happening is right, and you have a choice in this. In fact, we have multiple choices. Discernment is necessary. There's a need for the big picture in mind, and to keep our sense of perspective and be philosophical about what's unfolding. Then we can make those wise choices and be guided towards our future that we're building now, and as we leave a difficult part of our past behind. As you can see now at this point, there's a lot to be optimistic about, even if it is cautious optimism. Have faith that things are working out for you, and you are being guided. Also remember, no choice or inaction is also an action. So whatever you choose it consciously in faith. And then finally we get to the 19th. And I was going to talk about this next time, but I'm just going to get into it right now, and then I'll probably touch on it again next week. This full moon, as I mentioned, is the culmination of a cycle that began on the 9th of February earlier this year, as well as the cycle that began with the Leo new moon 2 weeks ago on the 4th of August. So I would suggest you look back at both of these times, at what was unfolding around the 4th of August, as well as what was unfolding way back around the 9th of February. Because now things are coming to fullness, things are coming to light, and we're at the end of one chapter, entering a new chapter in our lives. And this is also significant because this is the last full moon in Aquarius, while Pluto is still in the sign. Pluto is going to re-enter Capricorn on the 1st of September, just as Uranus stations retrograde. So there are major shifts coming up at the end of the month. By then, Mercury will be direct as well, and Venus will have entered Libra, her home sign. So after this, thick, dense patch of astrology that we're moving through right now, after the 19th, things get a whole lot easier. So this is just a moment of truth for all of us to step up and step into our power and to reclaim our lives and reclaim our authority to live our lives by our rules. So once again, with the moon in Aquarius, there's a need for balance between the self and the needs of others in our life. On the 19th of August, early in the morning, the moon trines Mars. We're being driven now to take action and to make the choices that will ultimately reflect our innermost selves. So we can restructure our lives so it aligns more with our inner truth and who we are at the core of our being, and who we are today, more importantly. You're not who you were 2 weeks ago, let alone 2 months ago, 6 months ago, or years ago. This is a chance to come back to the present moment. The Sun in Leo very much speaks of the present and of what's happening today. Because at the time of this full moon on the 19th, Venus is squared Jupiter and will make it opposition to Saturn. Also, the Sun, just before the full moon alliance, squares Uranus, repeating Mercury's aspect from yesterday, and with Uranus being in a T-square with the lunation. And anytime there's a T-square in the lunation, it just creates this sense of tension. And then in the case of a T-square, we look at the sign with the missing planet to find balance. And in this case, the sign with the missing planet is Scorpio. And Scorpio is the sign that speaks of change, of metamorphosis, of transformation, of surrender and letting go. So whatever's unfolding now, there may be sudden changes unfolding, sudden breakthroughs, sudden changes in dynamics and relationships. But there are sudden shifts that are unfolding which are ultimately just liberating us, and we're reaching a huge breakthrough here. So move slowly and steadily and avoid pushing too hard, because before the new moon, Venus will square Jupiter and oppose Saturn. And Venus is the planet that rules our relationships, money, our hearts, creativity, beauty, all the pleasures of life. But also, Venus also rules our values at its core. Venus square Jupiter opposite Saturn. This is also forming another T square in the sky. And in this case, the sign with the missing planet is Sagittarius. So again, there's a need for perspective and to keep faith and to keep the big picture in mind, whatever's unfolding on this day. So relationships, we're reaching a milestone and a huge turning point. Lines are being drawn, and we're in a process of deeply reevaluating our relationships, our finances, our resources, our connections, involvements, where we invest our energy financially, emotionally, materially, in all respects. Business, personal, all one-to-one relationships are certainly at a very pivotal moment right now, and things are shifting powerfully. Trust you can't lose anything that's right for you, but it's important that you're being true to yourself so that you can have balanced relationships moving forward. Even finances, we're moving past an important milestone. So there may be a need to look at how we've been managing our resources and how we want to do that moving forward. And on the 23rd, which is a few days away, the sun will leave Leo, enter Virgo, and on the same day, Venus will square Mars, this aspect is already in play, but the exact aspect happens on the 23rd of August. So think, the shifts that we're making now, we're going to reach a breakthrough with this full moon, which is bringing our relationships to light, finances to light, and really liberating us from situations that we felt stuck in. There could also be very sudden changes in dynamics. So it's important that we're not looking over our shoulder once we get to this full moon, because the past is past and the future isn't even created yet. We are creating the future in this present moment. So it's what we're doing right now that's ultimately building our future. Remember, you're not choiceless in this, and everything actually hinges on you showing up for your life as authentically as possible. The more authentic you can be, you can find a balance with the needs of others in your life. Also, Venus was conjunct Saturn back on the 21st of March. So you might want to look back to what was going on around the 21st of March as well, because that was also another milestone in our relationships, and now we're entering a whole new chapter. And the final thing that's the background aspect of this whole month, really, and from now until leading into next year, is we have Jupiter square Saturn, which takes place just hours after the full moon in Aquarius. And this is that major pivotal turning point. And we're all entering this new phase in our lives now. Over the next couple of weeks, we're in a process of releasing and clearing space of the past as we step into the future, because an Aquarius is a very futuristic sign. Trust you are creating your future in the present. It's just about making those conscious choices. This may involve a certain level of sacrifice. The vision that we're trying to manifest is very much within reach. What matters is if you have confidence in yourself and faith in yourself and how much you believe in a vision and how badly you want something. There's going to be a need for commitment. We're deepening our commitments in our relationships, and there may be some relationships that are ending or changing form and shape, because full moons will bring a culmination. But every end is a new beginning, and it's just that we're ending one chapter before we can begin a new chapter. And in that, you can trust that the connections that are right for you, the opportunities that are right for you, will be there for you. It's as long as you're willing to claim them, which will require that courage and presence and spontaneity, vulnerability, and total honesty, because we're in the process of restructuring our lives, major foundations of our lives even. Whatever comes out through the other side of this will be stronger for it. So even the relationships that we're committing to now, the projects we're committing to now, they require our wholehearted commitment and our ability to keep the big picture in mind, and then recognizing that what we're building now will take time, but it is very much a process that's underway and within reach. And the next major step in this process will come on the 24th of December when Jupiter squares Saturn again. So think of this as that larger storyline that's playing out. As we step into the new chapter, first we've got to like dismantle and let go of clear space so we can strengthen the foundations for what we're now trying to build moving forward. Next month, once Pluto enters Capricorn, we're going to be wrapping up unfinished business. And then starting November, we're going to be back in Pluto in Aquarius territory, ready to move ahead and bring about these changes. Once again, Jupiter is the planet of wisdom, of expansion, of knowledge. It represents God and divinity. And Saturn right now is in Pisces, which is also the sign of divinity. So divine timing is certainly in play. And what's happening now is of a higher will. And the more we can align with that higher will, which is not somewhere out there, but that consciousness, that light is within us, the sun in Leo is reminding us of. So stay connected with that consciousness within at the time of this full moon. Be compassionate, lead with the heart, be courageous, be bold, be spontaneous, be innovative, detached, dispassionate. There's a need for balance between love and friendship, between creativity and innovation, between passion and detachment, dispassion, desire and detachment, and absolute total surrender and faith that what's happening is part of our growth and it's part of our process of our growth and life journey. And this is a turning point in our life's journey and in our soul's journey, turning a corner into a whole new chapter of your life so we can open the door to a lot more joy and happiness and abundance and prosperity even. And with our own inner integrity, we can trust that we'll be proud of how far we've come and how we showed up today, even years from now. And above all, Aquarius speaks of acceptance, self-acceptance and acceptance for others. So the more we can practice that self-acceptance, it's easier to extend that out into the world to others. And then you can show up and dare to share your light with the world that needs it. There's only one you and you're unique. Each one of us is unique, but we're all human. We each have our own unique role to play in this universe, or we wouldn't be here. The whole would not be whole without the sum of its parts. The dream you're dreaming now is not just your dream, but the universe's dream for you. And it's part of a larger collective growth process that we're all going through, individually as well as collectively. Our ability to have courage and be true to ourselves is what will ultimately help not just us, but the world around us as well. So life is blossoming now for all of us, but it also means that we're going to have to cut back and let go of some things that we've outgrown so we can fully commit to and embrace the future and devote our time and energy where it most matters. So brace yourself for the 19th. I'm not saying that to scare you, but I'm saying that because yes, there are major shifts and we're forever going to look back at this time in our lives when everything started to change. And this could get dramatic, but try not to feed into the drama and stay focused on your goals and your objectives. With creativity, compassion, love, and innovation, detachment, all is possible. So I'll stop here for now, but as you can see, it's a big week, bringing us to a moment of truth. Be honest with yourself, then you can make choices in alignment and steer your course wisely and restructure your life so it starts to support you as much as you support it and you give to it. Be proud of how far you've come, because even what we consider to be mistakes are not mistakes. They're just a part of our growth and our learning in the school of life. So I wish you the very best for this week. May we all get through this and come out of it stronger on the other side and happier and wealthier and above all liberated. But thank you as always for listening, for a deeper insight into your chart and to see how these opportunities are playing out for you. Please email me at priya@cosmicdiaries.com. I would absolutely love to work with you. And I will be back with you again next week following the full moon, and I'll probably recap the full moon at the time. Also, if any of you are in New York, my Amma, my guru, is going to be visiting New York and giving individual blessings on the 17th of August in the city. And then on the 18th, there's a one-day meditation retreat. She will also be visiting Woodstock before that on the 13th and 14th for a blessing day and meditation retreat. But you can find more information on that at karunamai.in. So I'll spell that out. That's KARUNAMAYI.in. So if you go to the website and you click on look for the retreats and events and go to New York, you'll find all the details there. But hopefully I'll see you there. If not, I send you love wherever you are, and I will catch you on the other side of this full moon, and I'll be back with you next week. So, sending all my love with the moon. Bye for now. Namaste.